What's up, people? My name is Shaggy, the opinionated hippie, and today I just want to rant and rave about what I think is the greatest psych pop album ever made. It's actually a compilation album of two EPs, but I first experienced it as one album, and we'll forever think of it as one album. But it is the Dukes of Stratosphere, Stratosphere being Phear. Their compilation album of their two EPs, 25 O'Clock and Sonic Sunspot. Sonic and Sunspot spelled with P's, PSPS. Chips from the Chocolate Fireball. This album is, there was an album that was released in the early 70s called Nuggets. It was later re-released in the 80s. I think Ryko Disc got the rights to it and did a series of Nuggets releases. But the original Nuggets was called Nuggets, Remnants from the Psychedelic Era. I think it was like 65 through 68 or 69. But it was a bunch of one hit, or in most instances, no hit wonders from the late 60s of like just really good 3.5, 3-4 minute psych pop, psych rock songs. Eclectic, a little all over the map, all of them sharing a very strong psych pop vibe. This album kind of sounds like any given track on this album could have appeared on Nuggets, and other than maybe the more updated 80s technology and studio techniques, it would sound like it perfectly fit on the Nuggets albums. In fact, this entire album could be considered a Nuggets album if you didn't know, and you could literally give a different name, like this song is from this band, this song is from this band, is because they do such an amazing job of like touching on so many different psych pop bands and moods and styles. The band is the three main members from XTC, Andy Partridge, Colin Moulding, and Dave Gregory. It came out in 18 this came out in 87. The EPs came out a couple years earlier than that. I think 25 O'Clock first, Sonic Sunspot next. They were not advertised as like XTC spinoffs. When they were first released, it was like, here's a new band. They went by the names of Sir John Johns, The Red Curtain, and Lord Cornelius Plume. Ian Gregory, I think, was on drums as Eieioen. And then there's a little girl named Lily Frazier. I think it's a girl, sounds like a girl, who does some interesting Alice in Wonderland, Lewis Carroll type narration between some of the songs on the Sonic Sunspot, the latter of the two EPs. But this is just a fun, ridiculously entertaining psych pop album. If you like 60s psych pop and you have not heard this, you need to check it out. I know it's on Spotify. I know it's on YouTube Music. It's out there. You can probably get it on Amazon if you're someone who buys their music and refuses to do streaming. Good on you. I got here because I recently did a bunch of Pink Floyd videos. And anytime I listen to The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, I'm always reminded of this album. So then I revisit this album, and I end up usually going down like a psych pop rabbit hole for a couple days and listen to some XTC and some like of Montreal and some Foxygen and all that kind of stuff. XTC, the band that that this came out of, that the three members are from, is very much a pop band who early on was like, if you're not familiar with them, was a very sort of post-punk pop band. Then they became more of a pastoral type pop band. Then they did a little psych pop for one album. Oranges and Lemons, a really good album. And then they did some more, as you get older, kind of folky pop, but always experimental, always kind of pushing the envelope, but with a really, really solid pop core, really strong melodies. All of their songs kind of have a very pop aesthetic, but adorned with sort of different sort of subgenres of pop music. But this album, I'm going to go through the references that are on here, not song by song, but kind of mention some of the things that I hear on here. But it is a really fun, if you are familiar with bands from this era, the Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, obviously, The Move, the Hollies, the Byrds, Early Traffic, the Kinks, Amboy Dukes, as much as I hate to reference that band. Their lead singer is a horrible person. Who else was on here? Beach Boys, there's a Beach Boys. I mentioned the Birds, there's some of the Birds on here. But it is really just like so many different flavors. And while the sort of inspirations, like the bands that inspired these songs, it is obvious what those inspirations are in a lot of cases. These songs nonetheless don't sound like mere copies. They sound like, oh, it truly is just an inspiration of this, and they've created something that is maybe at times better, if not comparable to the originals. um 16 songs on here. First song is 25 o'clock, which starts off with a clicky ticking clocks, very much like Pink Floyd's Time. Once it gets into the actual song, you're very much in like a Sid Barrett era Pink Floyd type song. That kind of psych rock pop. Bike Ride to the Moon, again, just the themes, the lyrics, all of it. Bike Ride to the Moon works perfectly. My Love Explodes, What in the World, Your Gold Dress, The Mole from the Ministry. Those are the 6 songs that are on the original 25 O'Clock EP, the first 6 songs on here. These are definitely a little more, I would say, a little more leaning towards psych rock and a little maybe psych spaciness. Bike Ride to the Moon is probably the most accessible. What in the World has just a really, really funky bass line that runs through it. Your Gold Dress and My Love Explodes definitely have more of a Yardbirds, poppy energy. One of them has an I Am the Walrus type, or is it Strawberry Fields Forever type, fade out and then come back in type vibe. Um, Mole from the Ministry is a little bit of a darker, weirder type. I'm the mole from the ministry. Very Beatlesque. Kind of reminds me, the chorus kind of reminds me of Wilco's, the third song on Yankee Hotel Foxtrot, which I can't remember right. Radio Cure just kind of has that really pure, like Beatlesque medley in it. A melody in it, not medley. So yeah, the first 6 songs of the first EP definitely have a little of a darker Pink Floyd, Yardbirds, a little more rocky vibe. The second EP, which starts in track 7, this is when you get this girl talking between tracks. You get a lot more pop flavors. You get a lot more silliness in here. Vanishing Girl, which has a line which in today's world, if this song came out, especially with all the BS that is happening in the United States concerning transgendered individuals, but there's a line in here. No, it's not Vanishing Girl. It's Have You Seen Jackie? But Vanishing Girl is just a really, really good pop song. The next song is Have You Seen Jackie? That is track number 8. And Have You Seen Jackie has this line here, which reminds me of today. But the line is, I can't find it, of course. But she's a strange, strange, strange little boy. He's a strange, strange, strange little girl. But one of the lines is, and all the children follow him around, and all the grown-ups try to drag her down, which kind of just reminds me very much of what's happening. I teach kindergarten. We have kids at our school that are he or she or they or them or have switched genders. We have a fish in my classroom that is a they. The kids have decided that the fish is a they. They don't care about gender. They just want you to be nice and respectful and treat each other the right way. And so this line, and all the children follow him around and all the grown-ups try to drag her down, just reminds me of sort of, yeah, man, the children are like excited and they follow you and they want to be your friend. The adults are like, no, you can't do that because we don't understand. But anyways, I like that part of the song. Little Lighthouse, You're a Good Man, Albert Brown, which reminds me of a cross between the Beatles' Yellow Submarine and the Kinks' Dedicated Follower of Fashion. I think this is the one that is the Spoons solo. It sounds like, oh, not a spoon solo, but they're playing like bottles, and then they crash, and then you hear some like background noises, like Yellow Submarine type things. Kaleidoscope, really good lyrics. About just looking through a kaleidoscope and seeing ships upside down or the world upside down. Very trippy vibe. You're My Drug has an 8 Miles High bird type thing in it. Shiny Cage, Brainiac's Daughter, kind of reminds me of Early Traffic. like a Berkshire Poppies on their second or first album. Some of that early pop stuff they would do. Brainiac's daughter, swallow the pocket watch, I got her. Just really good, infectious pop melodies with really silly 60s, late 60s psych lyrics. Something you could see Syd Barrett singing. Something Ray Davies wouldn't sing because Ray Davies didn't get really silly, but the melodies are Ray Davies catchy. Some of this is stuff that you would maybe find on the Rolling Stones, Her Satanic Majesty's Request. Those kind of songs. The Affiliated, and then Pale and Precious. And I think Pale and Precious is the one that is the absolutely gorgeous Beach Boys harmonies to close out. Yeah, the whole thing has a Beach Boys vibe. Bumpa waba wooba, bumpa wooba. I mean, just these great, the whole thing. Sounds like it would fit right on Smile, like the one that never got released that you can hear on the Smile sessions. But yeah, man, it is a great song to listen to, a great album to listen to, and try to catch all the different references from all the bands. And if you like this, like, go listen to like The Move or The Hollies or The Kinks or Early Traffic, and like experience like where this stuff, the inspiration for this stuff, because I don't know, it's just a phenomenal album. But I got into this, I think I got this right when it came out, right before I went to college. So about a couple months before I went to college, I picked this up. It came out like about a year before I went to college, so I must have got it. But I really got into this like my first year of college, and it was just one of those albums that like helped shape my love for like 60s music and psych pop music. And getting allergies here. And even though it is very much paying homage, to a time 20 years earlier, all of these songs are good enough to have been from that time. And yeah, that was it. I just wanted to rant and rave about this album because I've been listening to it a couple times lately, only because it was, I did do those Pink Floyd things. And I thought I had it out here, but I think it's still in my car. But yeah, a great album, man. I highly recommend you track it down, try to listen to it on streaming if you're cool with that. If not, it is worth buying, especially if you like 60s music. I just think it is a phenomenal album, and it is just a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm sure there are other really cool things I wanted to say about this, and probably slower and not as excited as I am right now. But it's been a crazy day, and I drank a lot of coffee, so I got all that energy. But that's all I got to say, man. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time. Go check this out. And if you know of any other really good psych pop music that I haven't mentioned that you think I should check out, let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for really good psych pop music. But anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you later. Peace, y'all.